A lot of people out there struggle with parents that don't have time or care as much about them, and that kind of has repercussions on the children, and like sometimes having parents that are not there for you emotionally, but they are there physically, as in like you guys are living under the same roof, kind of causes some like trauma or
Yeah. It's kind of like, why did this person even have, like, why did this father or mother, or both of them, why did they have this kid in the first place?
it's kind of like pressure from society or maybe like their
Ex-
grandma or like their mom like I want a grandchild or like something, and
exactly.
they're like, oh, okay, we have to do what we're told.
Exactly. And
So
I
then they're
think
like,
that kind of relates to like the traditional mindset of like everyone having kids and then you'll be happy. But
hmm
then you see a lot of these like fathers and mothers, they end up having kids. They don't even have the responsibility of fucking take care of them. And
yeah.
it's so stupid. It's like, why the fuck would you even have a kid if you don't even have your life figured out to a certain degree?
hmm
I'm not saying like you achieved every single milestone in your life, then you can have kids. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
hmm
like you don't even have like the basic finances for yourself or your partner.
hmm
Why the fuck would you have a kid? It's so stupid. It's like a lot of these pieces of shits, they choose to have a kid because they're like, oh, it's gonna make me happy, but shit, I can't even take care of this kid because I can't even take care of myself. And then they fall into like substance abuse or they fall into like gambling problems, and then or they're just not even present because they're like, I'm still figuring out my life. I want to do my own ambitions. Fuck this family.
yeah, or they're like just working all the time where like they don't even have time to raise the kid basically because they don't have their personal finances like you said together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I'll talk about like an example that I recently encountered. One of my friends. So this person's dad is a gambler, okay? Owes a lot of money. And when she was young, she still had this like dad around. And then
hmm
like as she got older, probably like she was like 10 or something, her dad like divorced her mom. And
hmm
then she still felt like it was her duty that she had to pay the money that like her dad owed, because it was like, oh well, he's still my dad. I want to pay for him even though he's a piece of shit, but I feel like it's my responsibility.
because
Congrats.
it's
I respect that. I commend that. That's a lot of like responsibility. It's a big thing for a daughter to take on. But you as a fucking dad, like think about it, a little girl, your little girl, your daughter.
hmm
She has to wipe your ass because your bitch ass couldn't even take care of your own family. Your bitch ass couldn't even take care of yourself, and you're still gambling. The fuck is wrong with you, right?
hmm
And then these dads or these mothers or whoever, these fuck ups, they choose to have kids because they think, okay, mommy told me to do it because mommy wants to have a grandkid,
hmm
or society told me that I need to get married, even though I am not in the right mindset or I'm not meant to get married. So that
hmm
kind of goes back to like our previous few videos about like, is marriage even like something like people want, or is it like something that's just kind of this is something that's just kind of like a fluke,
hmm
something that people are led to believe this will make me happy, or people that are led to believe this is the end goal, but it's
hmm
all a fluke. The end goal is you have to realize what kind of person you are. If you're a fucking fuck up, if you're someone who lacks responsibility, and you're gonna have little Sally over here fucking raising little Sally, when she gets to like 10 years old, you divorce your fucking wife, then you have little Sally pick up your ass crumbs,
hmm
and then you have to like have her wipe your ass all the time because you have a gambling problem that you still have a gambling problem until she's like even like 20 plus years old, 30 years old. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like the father doesn't even have like his like I feel like the father didn't even have himself figured out yet. Like he still has problems that he didn't like fully develop or like, you know, like some people are just like not mature enough or haven't realized. Like a lot of people don't realize what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like they don't know the damage that they're causing, or they don't know that they still have their own problems to figure out, and then
Yeah.
they bring in a child that just adds on more problems for them.
And some people, they might be like, well, you're fucked up. People should have the option to reproduce. But you're breeding a
Mm.
fucking child into this world. You're bringing a soul into this world. And then that person has to live as a shadow to your life. She has to be upset and sad, almost depressed every single day because of your fucking ass, because she's working her ass off. She can't even make any savings because your ass was too unresponsible to not even not even know about this issue. You can't just like produce a soul into this world and you just expect it to be happy. You can't do that.
You have to like
Especially when you have a lot of shit to take care of. Like your ass is leaking a bunch of poop everywhere,
you're just shitting all
and
over
then
the floor.
you're not even cleaning your own ass. It's like, dude, if you don't know how to wipe your ass first, why would you tell someone? Why would you make someone on this planet so that she could learn to pick her own ass up
Mm-hmm.
and also learn how to wipe your ass too? It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me that like you would bring a child into this world to have them kind of, would you say like look after you kind of, or like,
Live in your shadow,
yeah, live in your
kind
shadow.
of. Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of people out there encounter the same situation
Yeah.
where they don't know how to deal with this exactly.
And like viewers, if you're someone who kind of like struggles with this, you're born into this world, and you have a fucked up parent, fucked up dad, fucked up mom, whatever it is, fucked up brother, sister,
Mm-hmm.
please comment in the section. Like if you're willing to share like your experience, and willing to like kind of like relate with what this friend of mine went through, because it is like you're living under the shadow of your parent or your sibling, a family member, anyone, And some people might say, well, that's the girl's fault. That's the girl's fault that she still chooses to give money to her dad to still gamble. But
I
you know,
feel
I
like a lot of people kind of like, it's kind of like your parents, like you have like they
yeah,
brought you into this world, so you kind of feel like you owe them a debt,
yeah,
like you kind of want to help them out,
yeah,
but like I feel like you shouldn't even bring in the child if like you can't even help yourself, like if you have like problems.
yeah. And so I think like a lot of people that come from like pretty good backgrounds, they're probably going to be the ones commenting like, "Oh, well, that's her fault. She shouldn't be paying for her dad." And I come from a not bad background. I don't have parents that divorced. My parents are pretty loving to me right now. And I still can relate, like I think it's fucked up for some people to do this. Like some people shouldn't be breeding into this world, bringing a soul into this world if they don't have the responsibility, because it's just creating like an endless struggle, because your kid is just gonna think that it's their responsibility. They're not gonna know better. They're not gonna know like, oh shit, like I'm just gonna be selfish for myself. They
Mhm.
probably have a sense of loyalty to you.
Mhm.
You can't just blame someone. You can't like victim blame this person, like, oh, well, she should know better. Well, how about the father? The father or
Mhm.
the mother? They should have known better to breed a kid into this world and teach them how things are wrong, and you know
Yeah. It
not
just
how like they should have envisioned it.
yeah. It just kind of sucks because at the end, like the person that's getting abused the most is the children.
Yeah.
Like, and I think most parents like, do you think they realize or like have self awareness that this is going on, or do you think they're just like, oh, like they should be doing this for me because I brought them into the world?
That's a good question. um I think they're not, a lot of the time they're not aware.
Mhm.
I mean, this girl, she told me that her dad once in a while texts her just to ask how she is,
Mhm.
and then it's never anything about like, oh, I'm sorry, like I still owe this money, and thank you for paying this. It's always like, hey, how are you? But it's just like very fake.
Mm.
And then I don't think that the dad knows like he's a fuck up, you know? Like just I'm just imagining myself if I'm
Mm-hmm.
40 years old and I have like a little kid, a little mini version of me, little cute little like Sally, and she's paying for me, dude, because I'm a fat slum that is just sitting on the couch all day and just like gambling my money away like a fucking idiot. I'm just thinking, dude, I would feel really bad for my kid. Like that's a fucked up thing to
Mm-hmm.
give a responsibility to someone that's just like a little kid, you know?
Yeah.
And then yeah, man. I mean, it's fucked up.
I totally agree. I think the struggles, like, I mean, this is, I think, what leads to like kids kind of like getting into like drug problems or hanging out with the wrong crowd, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's what like it leads to.